It's always nice to welcome you. Fancy making you walk up 3 flights of stairs.
Good for the hips, good for the hips.
What have you been doing since last we saw you?
You know, it's been 6 years, and it'll take hours.
A lot of things.
Yes.
Are you happy?
Very, yes.
You must love traveling after that
Well, I love
jaunt across
home,
the
but
Pacific.
one thing about Australia is that the Australians come to America, they don't feel they're away from home. And when I come over, or any of the Americans come over to Australia, we don't feel that we're away from home. So,
when you talk of home, where's home?
Hollywood.
And you've lived in Hollywood for some years?
The same house, 31 years, lived in Hollywood since I was 13.
Whereabouts in Hollywood?
Santa Monica.
Yes. And is it a pretty house you have?
Oh, well, yes. It's quite, as a matter of fact.
Have you got a picture?
Yes, I have a picture of my home and my little 2-year-old granddaughter. That's something that's happened since I was last here.
Well, isn't that marvelous?
That's the home.
That's the house. Gosh, it's hardly. I wouldn't call it quaint. It looks a little large. And where's the granddaughter? This is here somewhere. There.
See.
Isn't she sweet?
With bright red hair.
Isn't she sweet? What's her name?
Kristen Elizabeth. We call it old Christy.
And you spoil the pants off her, don't you?
I try.
You were born Zelma Kathryn Elizabeth
Hedrick. Yes.
Hedrick. Born where?
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
And how did it all begin for you? Because you've had a marvelous career doing all those films.
Oh, I have. I've met. It's just been a beautiful life. I think what a lovely way to earn one's living, singing the beautiful songs that you sing. And I understand you're going to have Hank Mancini on shortly.
Hank Mancini has come to Australia, and he and I are doing an album of poetry that I've written, and Hank is writing...
He told me at the Los Angeles airport.
Yes, you both came on the same airplane.
We came on the same plane, yes.
And we had dinner last night. He's a charming man.
He is a darling. He was at MGM for years and years. And then he did, after we both left, he did many of my arrangements. And then, of course, he wrote Moon River and took off, and... Hank is very much on the social scene in Los Angeles now. Yes,
he's well accepted anywhere in the world.
Well-loved man, and deservedly so.
And he was with you during the making of some of those films?
Oh, yes.
In what can only be described as the great Hollywood era, and it was.
It was fun, too.
Yes.
It was a beautiful era. It really was.
You must see a great deal of change now in Hollywood.
Well, oddly enough, they're seeking out that era again.
Do you think they'll ever find it?
Yes, because you know why? Because of the younger generation coming up. That's what the younger people want.
Yes, they do.
There's a generation, a couple of generations that thought they were getting away from all that. The younger ones want something better. The money is in short supply, I suppose, these days, and they want more for their money, and they want the good things for their money.
The star system may return, then, you think?
Well, it always has. They have an anti-hero sort of thing now, but they're getting back to the point where they want to see pretty people and who are well-bathed and use deodorant.
That's a change. Yes. You must have seen a lot of change, though, in that time. Do you think that there will be...
It's been very interesting.
Will there be ever, again, people such as the people with whom you performed in those golden days of Hollywood?
Oh, I hope so. Oh, there are a lot of talented youngsters that just need a break. There are a lot of talented youngsters.
I went and saw Gone with the Wind there a couple of weeks ago, and Clark Gable had a certain magic that I don't think anybody will ever capture again.
Well, each one has his own magic, and I just hope that they have producers and directors who capture the magic of the new people that are coming up, because there are some beautiful human beings coming up with great talent. There really are.
Who's your favorite leading man? How many films did you do, firstly?
About 23.
A lot of films, isn't it?
Yes. Well, no, it's really very, not by comparison. It's quite a few, just a few films. Some of them have made hundreds.
Yes, but it's a lot of films when you think of the important role that you would have played in them, and the work and dedication to that singing. That's it's all very well to act.
Well, they were larger pictures and more expensive pictures, and it did take a little longer and a little more care, I think.
Yes.
And I think it paid off for the studios, too.
It certainly did. When you think of some of them, the Showboat, the Desert Song, Kiss Me Kate, the Vagabond King, which would Showboat be the biggest, I would imagine?
Well, I don't know. Anchors Away was... they were all, most of them, fortunately, were big box office. And that was where we were lucky. I guess it was the care with which they were made. But now I'm also overplugging That's Entertainment Part 2.
Yes, that's right.
MGM, my old alma mater. And then I appear Thursday, November 25th at Grace Brothers Bondi Junction, and on Saturday the 27th at Reevesby Workers Club, and on Sunday the Reevesby Workers Club, and Monday South Newcastle Leagues Club, and Wednesday, December 1st, the Strata Motor Inn in Cremora.
Gosh, they've got you working hard.
And Roseland's. You were just talking about Roseland's a few minutes ago.
Yes, I was. Roseland, you'd like...
That's Thursday the 2nd.
That's a huge place. Have you been to Roseland's before?
I don't think so, no.
It's fascinating. It's big areas like you have in the United States. How well did you know Mario Lanza?
Very well. We started him on his career.
That's right. Was that a tragic story? It appears
very, because the youngsters are very dear to me. I'm their Aunt Kathryn, and they're very dear to me, and they have no mother or father, and so I'm their mama and daddy now.
What happened to Mario Lanza?
Mario would finish a picture and then go on, and I guess from sheer frustration, go on eating binges and gain 100 pounds at a time. And then when he had to do another picture, they would put him in the hospital and feed him intravenously, keep him knocked out, and he would lose another 100 pounds. And you cannot do that to the heart. They did that 3 or 4 times, and then they signed him out of the hospital, said, Mario, you can go home. He stood up and dropped over dead from a heart attack.
Dreadful, isn't it? Because
this was in Italy.
It was a fantastic voice.
Yes, really a great loss.
Who was your favorite leading man?
Well, Mario's voice went with mine better than any of the others. And Frank Sinatra was very kind. He was kind to everyone on the set. He was a marvelous person. Gene Kelly was they all had their place. And they were all marvelous. Howard Keel was fun. We all had, in those days, making films was great fun. I understand, I made a documentary. We had fun on that. They said, some of the people said, gee, it's you can make your own fun. And evidently the new people don't know how to make their own fun.
No, I think
you can enjoy what you're doing.
They seem to be more introverted or something. I don't know.
I don't know. They're making it complicated when it isn't quite that complicated, I think.
Did you know Fred Astaire well?
Oh, yes. We traveled, we took That's Entertainment to the Cannes Film Festival. And there was a premiere in New York, Cannes, and London.
I think he's fabulous.
He is the dearest man.
The most elegant man in the world.
He is a dear.
He just walks as though he's 2 feet above the ground, just gracefully.
Gene Kelly was with us. Marge Champion, Sid Charisse, who's just kept a beautiful figure. It's just I think it's even prettier now than it was 20, 30 years ago.
His marvelous legs.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Donald O'Connor and Johnny Weissmuller. I must tell you a funny thing about Johnny Weissmuller. He said, Kathryn, I bet you can't do this. And he gave his call. Mm-hmm. And being a mimic, I gave the same call. He said, no one's ever been able to do that. So he kept giving the call, and I kept giving a call back. By the time we reached Cannes, he had no voice left because this wasn't a trained voice.
Is he?
His wife was furious with him. And they had the suite below mine, and she was so angry with him. They argued the whole night long, and he couldn't say a word, but she said, what did you do that for?
Is he still a fit man?
Oh, is he? Yes. He's a very, I don't know how old he is. He's about 70.
I would think he'd have to be.
And he's in top form, really.
It's remarkable, isn't it, when you think of the Tarzan films. We still show them here in Australia and love them.
Oh, we do too.
I just love to look at them.
Yes, because they were fun.
You never expect Tarzan to grow old, but I suppose like everybody else he must.
You don't expect anybody to grow old, and you're in a state of shock. And you realize that every year they get a year older, so do you.
Tell me, is Fred Astaire what I imagine he would be, an absolute elegant gentleman? Oh,
a darling. He is a darling. At 6 o'clock one morning, the morning that Mrs. Weissmuller was furious with Johnny, and I didn't sleep too well, needless to say, I looked out my window and this was in the Riviera, the Cannes. It was just very beautiful. And who was out there? Fred Astaire. He was running up the stairs, running down the stairs. And I said, I opened the window and said, Fred, what are you doing? He says, this is my way of keeping fit.
sweet man.
Oh, what a dear.
Yes, marvelous. Where did you stay in Cannes? At the Carlton?
No, Cap Antibes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Isn't that a lovely part of the world?
Yes, it is.
And Gene Kelly...
no prettier than Santa Monica.
No, probably
not really quite as pretty as Santa Monica.
I think when we go there, we tend to think it's nicer because we've not been before and the people are strange.
Well, they are. They were very lovely to us. They were very lovely to us.
Gene Kelly's a great dancer, but a far more athletic dancer, I think, than Fred is.
Yes, well, Fred was more on the ballet, and Gene was, what do you say? He was an acrobat.
That's right.
And every move, Fred was very light on his feet, but every move that Gene made was very precise and with great precision, and there was never a move that wasn't just right there.
Isn't it marvelous that you've had this fabulous life and really appreciated the people around you and obviously watched them?
I didn't really appreciate, I loved them when we were working together. I loved them, but none of us knew what we had. I think it took a bit of age and a bit of wisdom before we realized what we had. And we look back now, and I think we're very grateful to God for the beautiful things we had and still have.
I will certainly remind my listeners where you'll be appearing and what you'll be doing. How long are you staying in Australia? You'll be here until...
About a month.
Until the start of December.
Yes, well, a little more.
I hope the weather is nice to you. Were you greeted with a storm this morning, or didn't?
Well, I understand I missed the big hailstorm the night before. We arrived yesterday afternoon.
Dreadful.
And we missed I think they were the size of golf balls, I understand.
Oh, yes, incredible hailstorm. So at least you've missed that. And maybe the weather will improve, and I hope your month is happy and successful.
Thank you, John. It's nice to see you again.
It's very nice to see you, and I'll certainly be reminding my listeners of your appearances.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Be